Perfect.
All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. Let me switch over to the live stream to see if I'm heard. Hold on. Coming up. Coming up. We're gonna let everything come up. All right. Still letting everything come up, guys. All right. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Like I did one stream like not too long ago, and I gotta admit, guys, I've been fucking tired. I've um just been working a lot lately, and I've been saying this that it's just like haven't been taking time to myself, and so today took my daughter to go see Endgame, and don't worry, I'm not gonna talk about spoilers. Oh, that's good. Water's so fucking good, and so I just wanted to come home and game. I could have actually come in and actually do some shit like you know laundry, but I got the week to do that. Weekend is fucking mine, and we're gonna do quite something a little bit differently. I'm gonna actually be gaming for a while today, and what I'm gonna actually do is no, I'm not gonna do that one. I'm gonna go to this one, and while we're going through it, we're gonna just listen to some shit. Now, I'm actually planning on doing several different topics, so yeah, let's go ahead and have some discussions. Some of it's gonna be stuff on the left, some of it's gonna be stuff on the right. It's just like I want to have a discussion, and these are some of the videos that I found interesting this week. Some of the videos I went out of my way to watch this week. Oh, that shit is good. So let's go ahead and start this up. And yeah, we're gonna close Smite. No Smite today. Well, no Smite on stream today, but we're gonna actually start this up.
30% of American young men are now incels. We have the numbers, lads. Execute Order 66. No, seriously, let me show you this article from Salt Lake Tribune.
All right, so this fucker right here is forever alone. Whatever is, um, what is it? Monday Blue. Monday Blue, which is, I don't know why he can't fucking get a woman. Why he's forever alone.
Then they took your health and your pride.
Now, I'm sure he sees himself as some badass like Conan's walking up the motherfucking stream. I don't know. But, shit. Basically, what, new shit. And I think I play online. So, player versus environment conflict servers allow player during a certain amount of time window, but ensures buildings cannot be damaged by other players. And I don't like PvP. I tell you why I don't like PvP. And I don't like PvP because, yes, it's fun to compete against other people, but I really would hate building a fucking fortress and having somebody just come along and just destroy the shit because reasons. So I guess PvE. Show full service. And Codename Exiles, you got it for free. Don't show. I guess you can show full service. Community. I want to do America. I'm American. Go back to official. Just let it come up. All right. Let me bring up side chat. Sorry guys, just trying to bring up the chat. Open that browser. I just need to see the browser come up. Damn. 34? Damn. A 39 out of 40? Let's see if we get some more pings. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's start with small server. All right, so while this is running, so let's go back to Monday. MB for short. And so MB is, he's an incel. I guess he may consider himself a MGTOW. Let the boys actually feel better. And with him considering himself a MGTOW, I think he actually believes that he has justification for being the way that he is when he doesn't. And he made that stupid ass jokes that 30% of men are incels. 30% of men are incels. I call that just not being able to have sex like you want to. We all go through that. And let's create the character. Since this is a
Share
self-insert.
of Americans not having sex has reached a record high. Among 23% of adults, nearly 1 in 4 who spent the year in a celibate state, a much larger than expected number of them were 20-something men, according to the latest data from the General Social Survey. So it's 23% of adults is men and women, but still, it's a quarter. That's
All right, so check this out. I've watched the video already, and I'm gonna actually preview this shit. So I don't know if I did this video again before. Fuck. I may have did this video, but I got thoughts about it. So, spoiler alert. He knows what the problems are, but he wants to blame it to some other shit. What was Conan? Was he a Hyperion? Shit. Even though it doesn't matter, race doesn't matter. I go with Hyperion. Chrome. Yeah. Mithra. Stoic. Sorry about this. A lot. I'm sorry. And I'm saying about that color. I got dread, so I don't see the dread option. Ah, yeah, dread option. A little bit of salt and pepper. Don't really care about the eyebrows, facial hair. Come here. Come here. Saying I just shaved, like, while the music was playing. Go with that. Body features. Go for normal height. Look, yeah, just above. Physique. He's chiseled. Nah. Breast size. None. All right. So, now that I've created my character, let's go.
a lot of women that are not getting the PP that they need. Here it is in a graph. More than ever, Americans are not having sex.
Now, I'm actually just trying to get my bearings straight. But he kind of he's kind of stupid. He actually blames this on he blames this on you know he says it's a 25% or a quarter of people's problems, and yeah, that is the case where it's a quarter of people, and I'm talking all over this, guys. Yeah, all the roads leads to the city. The city of the without the name. Yes. So this is like some of the things that I kind of get when I first started this game, and this is not meant to be some kind of fucking kind of this isn't meant to be some kind of walkthrough with this game. It's just like I want to get to a place where I can build with this world. I'm trying to do too many things at once. But let's go back to MB here. MB actually just says, and he makes an immature ass joke. This is why he can't have nice things. He makes an immature joke that women ain't getting the PP that they need. Dude, it's more than that. When you actually look at what's going on with a lot of people can't have sex for a myriad of different reasons. But I'm sure you're gonna make it to some social justice warrior bullshit. Let's go.
This has got to be really weird historically, you know, that large of a number. I mean, who would have thought at the beginning of the sexual revolution that we'd end up at this place? Probably nobody. The portion of Americans 18 to 29 to 29
Oops.
reporting no sex in the past year more than doubled between 2008 and 2018 to 23%. Just for comparison, in my grandparents' day, way back then, you know, my grandparents were married off when they were like 18 and 19 years old. They did stay together forever, but that means that I think that was pretty normal back then.
Okay, so here we go to just like the first situation where it needs to be pointed out that he just hops right past. He actually states this, and this is like what's hilariously disingenuous about this fool. He actually makes a point to say like, well, his grandparents actually didn't got married at 18 and 19, and he points out that he knows that it was a fucked up situation and they didn't stay together forever. It's almost as if you get people together and force them to marry because of sex. It's a bad reason to get people to be married off. And you know, far be it from me to say this was a problem with the sexual revolution. It's not a problem with the sexual revolution. It's a problem with just the fact that when people are 18 and 19, they don't know what the fuck they want out of fucking life. And that leads you to doing stupid shit just to, you know, get laid. But you know what? There were some benefits to that, like having a home, financial stability, and guess what? Guess what's not happening today? Let's continue.
So just 2 generations before me, this kind of thing would be unheard of. According to Gene Twenge, growing sexlessness among America's 20-somethings is primarily attributable to partnering up later in life. There are more people in their 20s who don't have a live-in partner, she said. So under those circumstances, I think less sex is going to happen. I'm not sure if I buy that because before, think about how things have been going basically since the baby boomers. That didn't stop them from, getting the hoo-hoo and the cha-cha. But here it is. Since 2008, the share of...
All right, so that's the thing. It's about being financially stable, you fucking idiot. I don't think you get this. You have this thing where, and I've noticed it with a lot of his videos, well, it can't be other than women have too much freedom and now they're not choosing men. Dude, that's not what the problem is. And you would think that you would know this. You would think that you would understand this shit. But you don't. All you understand is, well, I can't get my pee-pee wet like I want to. But let's continue. And there is actually reasons for this. And he actually noted one of the reasons. People pairing up later in life. So you know what happens when you pair up later in life? Then 23 or 18 and 19, you don't get sex as much as you want to then at that time. But let's continue.
Men younger than 30 reporting no sex has nearly tripled since 2008. That's a lot in a short period of time. To 28%. That's a much steeper increase than the 8 percentage points increase reported among their female peers. The article goes into several possible explanations. Labor force participation among young men has fallen. The survey showed, for instance, that 54% of unemployed Americans didn't have a steady romantic partner, compared with only 32% among the employed.
Oh! It's almost as if you don't have a job, you can't have sex as much as you want to. Oh, wow. And I'm going to actually touch on that later on, because that's something that we need to fucking address. But let's continue.
Still, 32% among the employed is still really high. So some people will say, oh, it's because men are failing at jobs. Look, 32% among the employed, that's still really, really high. Let me make a comparison here. Back during the Great Depression, back, in the 20s, at its worst, 25% of the American labor force was unemployed. And I don't know this for sure, but I do have to seriously wonder, in any human field, do you just need to hit a critical mass of people, and that critical mass is probably lower than we think?
Being unemployed during the Great Depression is a lot fucking different than just not being able to have sex. You fucking idiot. Like, how dare you? How dare you compare one thing to another? You literally are comparing two unlike things to each other because you want to actually strawman the position that people are having more choice now. And how much of a fucking loser are you? But let's continue.
For things to start going sideways. 25% of the labor force being unemployed is not even close to 50%. And yet that caused dust bowls and squatter camps. And here we are at, even among employed people, 32% don't have a steady romantic partner. So there's more people who are out of relationship now than were out of work during the Great Depression.
Hey, guess what? Guess what, you fucking idiot? Not being able to eat is a lot more important than not being able to fuck. I just think that's more important. If you can't have sex, it's not as important as not being able to fucking clothe yourself or live with a roof over your fucking head. But maybe it's different for you. Maybe it's different for you. And I don't want this fucking bass, garbage ass bass. But maybe it's different from you. Maybe you think that, you know what, hey, you know, oh, that's just an NPC. No, that's a person. No, that's an NPC. Oh, you coming with a spear, motherfucker. Okay. I'm sorry, guys. I got caught up in the whole fighting for my life thing. But this fucker, like seriously, this fucker really sit back and just compare your basic essential as a human being to just not getting sex. And I I think romantic attachment is important and it is a fucking human it's effectively a human right to actually want to attach yourself to somebody. It is. And it's something that we all need. It's something that we all desire. And it's something that basically makes us human. But for you to actually sit back and equate that to not getting no snatch, and I know I'm using a poor word for it, it actually it makes it seem like you don't understand what it is to be fucking human. But let's continue.
Men are also more likely to be living with their parents than young women. In 2014, for instance, 35% of men aged 18 to 34 were living with their parents in their parents' home, compared with 29% of women in that age group. At the risk of stating the obvious, when you're living at home, it's probably hard to bring sexual partners into your bedroom. And of course, a lot of people want to jump right to saying, "Oh, these people are just late."
No shit, Sherlock. When you living at home, you can't get as much. You can't get the same amount of relationship time that you want. And I will give you that. That's what happens when you actually have to live in your parents' home. And I'm sorry, like I don't think you get that. And no, I actually don't fault people for thinking that they're lazy because they have to live in their parents' home longer than what they want to. That's actually not my problem. I understand how it is. I actually didn't move out till I was like 21. Now, mind you, I was sneaking. I would say it. I was sneaking women into my parents' house where I shouldn't have been, and yeah, it was difficult at best to actually have that relationship that I wanted to have, being that it wasn't my house. But let's continue.
Lazy or stupid or whatever, but do you really think 35% of those men really want to be in that situation? I don't think that they do. This is a larger social problem for employment and housing cost and how much family formation costs and a lot of other things. And yes, I think this is bad for society as a whole. Because if you look historically, young unmarried men, as far as I'm aware, around the world, young unmarried men are the one demographic that commit the most crime, regardless of other background. And if you look historically, when men can't get women, they tend to do really creepy stuff.
Um, Damn, that's just. I don't think you realize the implication of how that sounds and what that says about men and how it just makes us seem like we're just shitty people because we can't have sex. Now, people are just shitty because they can't have sex. And let me actually Let me actually put some spend some points. Oh shit. How you unconscious swimming in the water? But people are just out and out shitty when they can't have sex or when they can't get what they want to. People are actually just shitty when they do that, and that's fine. That's okay. And for you to actually just attribute that to, well, they must be bad. You know, it must be the fault of this one group of people. It just lets us know how shitty you are and what you would actually do if you think that you can't have the sex that you deserve. But you've already expressed that. But let's continue.
I'll remind you that Rome was founded by incels. No, I'm not really kidding with that. At least according to the Roman historian Livy, when Rome had too many bachelors and not enough women for wives, they went around to the local neighbors and said, "Hey, you got any extra women?" Of course, they said no. So what did Rome do? They threw a party, got the Sabines drunk, and then kidnapped the women. By the time the Sabine tribe could mount an attack against Rome to try to get their daughters back, it was too late. They were already pregnant. And
All right, so this is kind of being dishonest with the story. The story actually was yes, there was a story where Rome was founded by actual pirates, not incels. They were founded by pirates and criminals. That's what they were, and they were looking to start their own settlement. And because of the neighboring tribes they fucked over in more ways than one the neighboring tribes. And he's justifying stealing of people and rape. Like, I don't know how else to just say this. He just justified the fact that Rome was justified, one of the greatest empires in the world was justified with stealing someone else's people because they're incels. And this is what disgusts me about this fucker. It's, you know what you're saying when you're saying it, but you're so fucking hurt that the world isn't as good as you want it to be that you're pissed about it. And how fucking dare you justify this shit? You're a fucking loser. You're a fucking rape apologist. But let's continue.
married off to the Roman men. And whether or not, and there is some, I'm not sure if that historical incident actually happened. However, bride kidnapping has been something that has happened historically, and even happens. There's some documentaries on YouTube you can find about bride kidnapping. It still happens in some parts of the world. Now, so far we're not seeing that kind of thing. So far we're not seeing a spike in crime. But would it surprise me if that happens? No. And I have to wonder if some of the stuff that's going on in our trailer parks and our ghettos is actually incels going wild. You know.
You disgusting piece of shit. That's what you just are to me. How fucking dare you actually just equate that bullshit to what you just said? Like, you have no idea of how belittling that comment is. But hey, maybe you do. And maybe, just maybe, you're just that much of an asshole not to fucking care. I don't know. I just know that effectively, you're a piece of shit. And quite frankly, I don't I don't know how. I don't know how you think that the social economic issues that are affecting everyone is all because people aren't getting as laid as much as they want. How fucking dare you, dog? Like, this just shows how you're a fucking sociopath. You have no fucking empathy. But what do I expect? This isn't the first video I done watched your ass. Because you fucking really think that, well, because people are ghetto, they can't have the sex as much as they want to. Then, it must be. It must be. We must get young men poo-tang. And then that will solve all of their ills. They need the poo-tang. No, you fucking idiot. But let's continue.
A lot of young men that can't get partners, and they turn to the destructive ends that young men have throughout history. Now, of course, in that survey, you'll notice that that there's a gap between the young men who are having sex versus the young women who are having sex. There's fewer young women not having sex than the men are. So, who's giving the pee-pee to those young women? Dirty old men like me, that's who. Yeah.
You fucking wish. And see, here's the fucked up part about it. You actually think you're justified with the jokes that you're fucking making. You sorry sack of shit. I don't know. Maybe I'm just that asshole. Maybe I'm just that asshole that feels that we shouldn't treat people to one overall arching belief or behavior based on topical shit. Prove me the fuck wrong. But you seem like an asshole, dog. You seem like nothing but a self-centered asshole. And I was about to say I'm sorry, but no, I'm not. People like you disgust me. Because it's people like you that would sit back and say it's, if you actually know you did justify rape. Like, how dare you just justify rape like that? Shit, I fucking fail. I need to get somewhere where I found shelter. I stole somebody's shelter. But you just justify rape. But let's continue.
No, I'm kidding. Could be serial polygamy. Women grouping with the top most attractive men. We're seeing the cultural trailer parkification or ghettoification of America, which...
It's this whole idea that a lot of these incels and MGTOWs actually like to tout that women aren't choosing men because they have the alphas. Dude, there's no such thing as fucking alphas. And if you believe the lie that humans are broken down into groups like alphas or betas, or you're fucking kidding yourself. And I'm sorry. No, I'm not. I don't know what else to tell you. Because you're putting yourself in a hierarchy where you're obviously going to lose. I choose not to play the game. Yes, I have a wonderful young lady that is in my life that I don't get to see as much. I choose not to tie myself down to, the conventions of monogamy as much as a lot of people like to do. Does that mean I'm out there sleeping with everything? No, but I tried that shit. I tried monogamy. It wasn't for me. Like it isn't for most people. But no, you don't want to make yourself better. And that kind of goes to a conversation that I was having with a friend of mine saying that I don't do YouTube, I don't do Twitch for the benefit of being the top or the best. I do things for me being the best that I can fucking be. The growth that I can actually show. Being able to consider myself a strong person, considering myself to be just better than I was yesterday. But no, people like you have to be dominant in order to be secure in yourself. Where's this fucker at? I know I didn't miss him. Where the fuck did he go? Really? Is he really over there? No, that's a fucking bird. But, like, let's continue with this video.
It shouldn't be a surprise to anyone, really, at this point. As far as why I think this is happening, I suspect that much like in an individual's life where it's happening, it's not one thing going wrong, it's a lot of things going wrong all at the same time. In a previous video, I asked, are young men ready for a mass movement? Well, if they spend a long time in their lives completely frustrated for trying to get ahead, whether economically or trying to form families, or even just trying to get a first date, yeah, I could see if a group of people...
It's easy to get a first date. Just don't be an asshole. I don't see why that is such a fucking conundrum to some of these motherfuckers. It's almost as if they don't understand the concept of just don't be creepy. Get with somebody that shows interest in you. Actually, get yourself a fucking personality. But no. A lot of these guys don't fucking understand that. They think, well, let's fucking get rid of the competition so I can have dominance. And I'm sorry. I can't. I want to have a relationship with somebody who wants to have a relationship with me out of choice. Not some petty forcing of them to be my woman and give me sex whenever I want to. Dude, fuck you. But let's continue.
One individual came along and said, I will solve your problems, whatever it takes. No. These problems have been forced upon you by our society, and I will solve your problems, whatever it takes. Or we will solve your problems, whatever it takes. Yeah, I could see young men coming together from all different backgrounds, so I guess it would be nonpartisan in that sense. Well, it could happen, and part of how it could happen actually might be my fault. The reason I say it might be my fault is because, when it comes to not getting ahead in life, it's a source of shame for men. They don't want to talk about it. But once you realize that, hey, about 30% of men, young men, are in the same boat, all of a sudden it's not as big a deal to talk about.
So, this is what kind of blows me about this cat. Damn it. Damn it. He sit back and says, like, just instead of addressing the economic problem, which leads to, and I'm not saying that we should boil having a relationship down to, you know, a fucking video game quest. Like, get this, get that, get this, and you've leveled up enough to get a woman. No, that's definitely not what I'm saying. And like, I can attest to, there is certain shit that you have to have first off before you're able to say, I should grant me my woman card, give me my redeemable coupon to get a woman. But sometimes you have to have your shit together. And getting a job, having responsibility, is a way of you having your shit together. Where you're able to say, look, there are things I learned from having a job versus just fucking, you know, maybe having shit handed out to me. Maybe I have to learn how to interact and, you know, treat people a certain way in order to get what I want. And if you want to be fucking sociopathic about it, just to say that, hey, because reasons I should actually get this, that's fucking fine. At least you learn how to be a fucking person and interact with people, even if it was if it's as materialistic to say, I need this, give me this. That's fucking fine. That's, even though I don't agree with it to a certain extent, I don't agree with it. Even though I don't agree with it, that's learning. That's learning how to be a fucking human. That's learning how to actually interact in making sure that you're at least learning what it is to be an adult. But no, a lot of these people, they don't see that. They see sex good. I don't want to do anything to change the fact that sex good. Give me my relationship, please. And no, shit doesn't work like that, dog. You have to actually treat people like fucking humans. And maybe if you did that, you can actually work with someone to actually get the level and of interaction that you want. Because in the end, and I might as well just build my house somewhere and call it a day. That's what we're all trying to do. But let's continue.
That one weirdo over in the corner, you're going to keep your mouth shut. You realize that 3 out of 10 people around you are on the same boat as you. You're going to start talking about that more and more. Then you're going to realize how big the problem is. And like I said earlier in the video, you compare this to the Great Depression. At its worst, it was 25% of our workforce that was unemployed. Well, in the Great Sexual Depression, it's, what was it, 32%? It was higher. You know, the Great Sexual Depression is higher than the Great Economic Depression that we had. And I don't know exactly what kind of solutions they might come up with, but I suspect that in broad strokes it would be against social liberalism, against the kind of global corporate capitalism we have, and against the migration, because more people means more competition in the labor force. And I suspect that our ruling class and broader society is not going to deal with this problem until it blows up in their face.
Alright, so this, I just get so fucking disheartened when I hear people like this. He almost is there, but like effectively, and I'm gonna actually say this, he's one of those people where you should know your place. And I'm fucking tired of these people where they believe that people should just know their place. You shouldn't change it. Because everybody has a place and you should know your place. Because of reasons. And this type of shit is the reason why we see so many fucking people that are depressed about their state in life, because they think that they can't make a change from where they are in life because they should know their place. And I'm sorry, I don't have a fucking place other than what I create for myself. And I just don't get where... I don't get the fact that people like him exist. Because he wants to simultaneously whine about how people have too much choice and also say that you can't do anything about the place that you are. So do people not have too much choice? Or should they just stop whining because they made the wrong choices? And this is what I don't get. Shit like this is what I really don't get about people like him. Because, dare I say it, they just want to cry that the white male is depressed and the world isn't falling in line of what they were actually told. Because that lie, you guys are the last ones holding on to that lie. And I'm sorry. I'm fucking sorry. That lie has been stripped from us all. And you're finally living into the situation we all have lived into. And you're mad about it? Sorry, kids. That American Dream train has already left the station. But you're not going to see that. You're going to see his woe is me. And these are the same fuckers who talking about snowflakes. But let's let this idiot finish.
Because this is America, and that's what we do. We ignore our problems until they blow up in our face. All the content on this channel is free, and if you like the work that I do, there's donation options in the description box below. So thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Let's see, what else do I need to make right quick.
The following video is controversial and may be offensive.
What is this?
To some audiences. Viewer discretion is advised.
Let's mute this. Alright, let's skip the ads. So, that was this fucker. And I'm actually... I need a campfire. Okay. Let's skip that ad. All right, so yeah, I'm kind of disgusted about this cat. Like, seriously, this man seriously disgusts the shit out of me because of his fucking ideas of just... He has this victim ass narrative. And it's okay to have a victim narrative. Fuck, sometimes I have a victim narrative. But then at that point, if you have a victim narrative, you cannot, in good faith, bemoan someone else's victim narrative. You can't do it. It's hypocritical. And we all know that you're not hypocritical. You always stand by your word, and you always are the model of how people should actually be. Yay. No, in reality, this fucker is hypocritical as shit. And what would end up happening is, if it was somebody else, it'd be like, well, no excuses. So fuck him. Now, let's go to another video that I wanted to watch. Because, I actually like this guy. And I heard about the situation. But, to coin his phrase, there's certain shit that I can rock with him on, but I don't need. I'm not part of his validation gang, which he vehemently dislikes himself. So let's listen to him.
Uncomfortable, Peter.
So, his big thing is he makes videos to make people uncomfortable, and not in the sense of blushing or other bullshit. He actually states that he does things because even topics that he doesn't like, it makes him uncomfortable. And I can respect the hell out of that, because in the end, if we're not pushing ourselves to make ourselves better, what's the point of actually doing these videos on YouTube? What's the point? If we're not making ourselves or questioning ourselves to get more out of what we espouse here on YouTube, what's the fucking point of being a creator? Yeah, it's fun and games, and I'm not saying that people shouldn't have a higher purpose, but at some point you have to actually say, can I think more about a topic? Thank you. So, let's go ahead and have that conversation.
I talk about a lot of stuff that I feel like isn't really the kind of stuff that a lot of other people talk about. And I'm not saying that to be like, oh, I'm cutting edge, I'm there on the precipice of discovery of human whatever. No.
Alright, so love it or hate his style, he has this particular style. Peter Kaufman, he has a style where he talks about how, you know, he strawmans his own opinion or exaggerates his own opinion, but then he comes around and attacks what he's really after in the throughout the video. And I actually respect that. He uses humor to come across as non-threatening, which is fine. A lot of people do that. I wish I had a humorous bone in my body. Ha ha ha. But I get why he does it. That giant ass crocodile. Fuck. Damn it. Fuck! I'm sorry, guys. This is usually the space that I go to. Alright. The purge was not fun to this place. Because I know they do purges here. But I cannot find a home. Not even one with a buffalo roll. Fucking rock creatures. But yeah, I liked what this video is saying. But let me actually keep going. Here we go.
But I do talk about things that make me uncomfortable, and I try to make sense of them. And the reason why I'm bringing this up is because it seems like a lot of people watch YouTube just to be made comfortable, just to be validated, just to see things as they already see them. And there's a really good video by Curio I would highly recommend. It's actually on Spider-Man, but it's more than that. It's actually really about the ideas of validity and validation, the internal being of valid, as opposed.
Now, I haven't actually watched this video. It came up on my feed, and sometimes I'm not gonna lie, I do things like watch the TYT network and the difference of opinions that you see there, and it's oh shit, I can actually build a home here. It's so a lot of times I miss out on a lot of stuff like I want to, but it's quite disheartening to see, like, and especially what's been blowing up around the small little section of internet that I like to frequent nowadays. When you see this validation game going up, where if you don't believe 100% of what I'm saying, it's a problem. And even though I may agree with you on one thing, I have to agree with you on everything. And you see this shit happening, and it's just like, come on, man. Like, what the fuck? Like, you guys need. Why don't you like to be challenged? And maybe because I'm just a person that likes to be challenged. But let's continue.
Opposed to having, getting, exchanging validation. And I bring that dynamic into play because I think there's a lot of people who do not watch YouTube videos or read Twitter or any of this with the idea that they themselves are valid. And truth be told, it's not really their choice. It is the world sort of pushing the idea that they are not valid onto them that gives them this sort of internalized narrative. And as such, people are often seeking validation in a lot of different places, one of them being YouTube videos. And in truth, it's possible to find a lot of validation, and people who traffic in it can make a lot of money. Because if attention, a thing that is not a currency, can be a currency, then so can validation. In exchange for your time, which is, transmuted into money somewhere along the line, I'm not going to get into that. On YouTube, you might be repaid with validation.
All right, so, and this is actually, again, one of those hilarious things where a lot of people like when I was making fun of G-Man, he has a show literally that says he's preaching to the choir. Like, you don't really understand how much that is a problem, do you? Where you literally have to have a show to validate your opinions by preaching to the fucking choir. And I need to make a bedroll while I'm doing this. And I don't get why people actually I don't get why people actually have this thing where they they don't want to take the time to be challenged. From time to time, I watch Fox News videos, even though they disgust the shit out of me. Not because I disagree with their opinion, it's because they're so fucking dishonest, and they leave people in a sense of comfort where their position may be wrong, but they lie to them about why their position they should hold their position. But that's just me. Let's continue.
A lot of the time, a YouTube video is about how you're right about a thing. In fact, most of the time, a YouTube video is about how you're right about a thing. And sometimes it's about how someone else is wrong about a thing, but that ultimately comes back to you were right about a thing. I did a video called Our Lady of Perpetual Correctness that sort of outlines a dynamic that I think that we're all subject to. We're kind of all supposed to defend ourselves. We're all supposed to appear as though we're correct. And not just to the outside world, but to ourselves as well, because if we don't consider ourselves valid, who will? Oh yeah, the guy telling me to like and subscribe on YouTube will. So, in some ways, I kind of revel in the idea that I might make people uncomfortable because my...
And maybe it's just because I haven't. Maybe because I have videos in the past where I talk about things that are kind of important to me, and I make fun of early in this video I made fun of Monday Night Blue or Monday Blue because it was me talking to you guys, talking about how he is just a fucking idiot because of his not because his views are incomprehensibly wrong. It's that the way he gets to his views are consequently just fucked up. And I'm sorry, I used to have to challenge myself on it's a reason why I review his videos is because assholes like that actually have a following because they speak towards someone's inherent biases. Well, this is wrong and this is wrong and it's happening to me, so you're giving me something where you're validating my bias and validating my belief because you're feeding my ego. But I don't know. This is just and I want to actually review the rest of this video, but I think this is the reason why I actually listen to so many different sides. Now, I have my own opinion about shit. And don't get that wrong. I do have my own opinion about things. And it would be a disservice to me to actually pretend like I don't. I do. And to be quite honest with you guys, it's one of those things where I just wish people would challenge themselves, make themselves uncomfortable, to say the least, in order to challenge what they believe. But let's go to the next thing about this video. I'm gonna skip to down here and mute the ad. I hate that YouTube is actually doing more than one ad. It's shows how they're trying to get as much out of advertising as they possibly can now, which is great if they shared more of the revenue with the creators. Fuck. I actually want to be one of those creators that are getting revenue, but let's continue. Now, let me set this up. Okay, so setting this up. This is Mr. Rapsion, and he's making a video. He normally does videos about Mr. Onision, which are fucking hilarious. I will say that his Onision videos are fucking awesome. But this is actually something where I kind of had to push back on him on. But again, this is actually bringing back up some things that I don't necessarily agree with, but I will respond to. So let's go. Oh, let's start it over.
Hey guys, so like I'm in the middle of editing and my Instagram account got deleted.
Oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is gonna be a crazy one, folks. Prepare yourself.
And I'm
Oh yeah. Yeah, this is definitely gonna be a crazy one. And this is not me actually doing a hit piece to his ass. I quite frankly, I understand where he comes from, but this whole thing about what he's gonna actually say, yeah, that's where I'm gonna have to be like, don't agree with you on this one, dog. But not for the reasons that a lot of people will actually think. So let's go.
God. And I don't know why it's not working out for me. I've been on late because of this. I've been on late because I want to be on Instagram, and I'm randomly just recording this to put this in the video. I'm nothing without my following.
Yikes. Well, this is quite a predicament. Instagram model Jessie Taylor had over 100,000 Instagram followers. Just 100,000, it's not like a couple million, just 100.
Okay, so the whole thing about how many followers that she had, dog, I get you're pissed off by what she's saying. Here's a secret. I'm kind of pissed off too. But to kind of downplay how many followers and subscribers she has because you want to make it to a point of just 100,000. Just 100,000 is a lot of people that she affects. And I don't want to come at it in a way that it seems like you're mad that a attractive woman is making money off of she's making money off of her physical capabilities. I don't want to seem like that's the case, But that's what it kind of seems like you're upset about. And that doesn't have a good look to you.
100,000 Instagram followers. And right off the bat, she's telling us that her Instagram was her life, that her Instagram is her identity. Now, for you people watching...
Alright, so it's a valid criticism for you to actually say that she shouldn't actually take Instagram as her life or a measure of who she is as a person. I will give you that. I will give you that 7 days out of the week. That is true. You never want to have these people saying that without Instagram, I'm nothing. That's a foolish thing. It's completely foolish. Never want to have that. That being said, she's clearly not saying that she doesn't have any personal value from herself. She's clearly alluding to the fact that without the income that she has from Instagram, she doesn't have any way of making fucking money. Because, you know, marketplace of ideas and marketplace of, you know, making sure that you can fucking live, so you have to fit into a specific mode that the system actually makes you fit into, and if you don't have those skills to fit into that system, then you're some kind of a bad person. Come on now. It's kind of evident that, you know, a lot of people may not fit into the molds that society actually gives them to fit into. Does that mean that they're bad people? No, it means that they just don't fit into that mold. But let's continue.
This is a fundamental problem with people like this woman, okay? The fact that you placed your identity and your self-worth in your social media numbers, how many followers you have, and that goes away because you violate Instagram rules and you do stupid stuff on your Instagram that's not safe or breaks their policy for...
Now, throughout this video, he doesn't say what she did to violate the rules, which I find telling, because somebody can just be reported because they don't like the fact that she's making money from Instagram because she's showing off her body. These are the same people that have no problem watching porn. I don't get it. I personally, if you have that skill where you can make money off of, you know, maybe showing off your body, more power to you. Am I going to contribute to that through anything other than watch time? Fuck no. But I'm not going to knock you for it. But let's continue.
Suggestive content, and you violate that and you get your account terminated, that's completely on you. But most of all, the fact that you have your identity and your self-confidence rooted in your numbers and your Instagram following, you are a very pathetic person. Alright,
so this always amazes me. The U.S. has no problem with violence, but the very mention of sex is taboo. And you see a lot of cultures, like, it's like you see so much violence in the U.S. That's okay. But the puritanical roots that we come from, where sex is such a bad thing because reasons. And I get it, like, you know, not everybody has the gift of looks. Inconvenient time though I paused it, but not everybody has the gift of looks. That doesn't mean that those who do have that gift of looks should always stress down in order to make other people feel comfortable or not profit from it. Again, porn.
I can't even believe that you're over the age of 20 and you think this is a perfectly rational response to your account being deleted. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this woman, Taylor, just didn't make a YouTube video crying for a total of 4.5 minutes almost and giving all of her reasons why her Instagram was deleted and how she can't live without it, but she proceeded to call the police when this happened. She called the police in LA.
Alright, so yeah, the calling the police was a little bit fuck. It was a lot fucking wrong. I can honestly say that it was the stupidest thing to do, calling the police, because someone didn't like what you were saying and they caused the cancellation of your channel. That's fucking stupid. But again, I can't bemoan her for losing her fucking livelihood. If somebody was to, and it's actually happened where someone's poor behavior caused me to lose my livelihood, even for that small amount of time, it was fucking disappointing. It was fucking horrible. And dude, you just told me that my income is gone. And that instead of Rapsion, who, granted, he actually has different means of income. Like, I can't knock the guy for, like, feeling a little bit like, hey, I work hard to get what I need, and here you are complaining because they took away your Instagram. I understand why he's fucking pissed. And when I first saw it, I was too, like, you entitled. You are entitled. But then I kind of listened to the rest of the video, which he did too, but let's continue.
And reported to them that her Instagram account got deleted and that it was comparable to M. This word right here, okay? See that word? I can't say it. YouTube doesn't like that word, so I can't say it on here.
Alright, so this is where I kind of like, he kind of loses me here. Because, surprise, surprise, as you guys saw, this video is monetized. It's almost as if when it comes to him actually making sure that he follows the guidelines and doesn't become demonetized, I'm going to take the extra steps. And you can actually say that, yeah, her behavior caused her to lose her Instagram profile, but you're doing the same dance that she's doing, and maybe you're more careful, but that still doesn't stop you from being in the same dance as she's doing. Like, oh my god, dog, you need to understand that yes, you don't have the same monetization scheme that she has, where she's an Instagram model, and I think this is from a little bit of jealousy. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it could be just envy. I've told people all the time, I can envy your position without wanting your position. And maybe it's just envy. But this seems a little bit of jealousy because she's using her body to get what she wants. But let's continue.
Yeah, that's right. She did an interview with several different news outlets, and she even wrote, like, it's linked down below. You can see what she said specifically in regards to what she said at the police. But if this doesn't give you a real perspective on how screwed up our generation is right now, with these people who go so emotionally invested in their identity and rooted in their numbers, and that, oh my gosh, I'm nothing without my Instagram following. You're an idiot. Like, get off the internet. You are destructive. Your mental health is...
Alright, so I get it. A lot of people millennials have this overinflated sense of self from their numbers on YouTube or Instagram or things of this way, Twitter, and a lot of people actually play to that. A lot of people have to in order to make ends meet. A lot of people have to actually literally sell themselves to the point of exploitation online in order to get by in the shitty ass economy that we have now. I get so tired of people actually coming down on millennials where they said, well, back in my day we had this by this age. And these are the same people that sit back and drain the system of resources and falsely limited the resources. How many people that you know? And this question was brought to me. If I had a mansion what I wasn't using, would I be upset if somebody who was homeless that wasn't living in it? If I wasn't using it and they were respectful of my shit, I would have no problem. And I think that's a difference with a lot of people. Like I did with the Rucker Breckman video. A lot of times, being poor isn't a lack of morals. It's a lack of money. And when somebody can actually take the time to actually better themselves and actually get a little bit ahead, if they're not hurting somebody, I'm not going to say that they're crap for not for that. Like, it's focused the attention on the symptom and not the problem. The problem is late stage capitalism, where you have to fucking get on the internet and make videos, even if it's for a little pocket change, in order to show that, hey, I need money to survive. And I get your outrage. I get that you want to show how morally you're superior to this because, you know, and you get into it that you've lost your channel before, but I just can't muster enough outrage for it. But let's continue.
So low because you think that somehow your mental stability is rooted in your following, and it's so sad. But at the same time, I don't feel bad for dumb people like this.
I'm nothing without my following. And when people try to hate on me and report me, I've literally tried to be a better person. I wanted to say to everybody that's been reporting me, think twice because you're ruining my life. Because I make all of my money online. All of it.
And there we go. So you jumping on the shit train for her making all of her money online. It's kind of shitty. It's shaming. Basically, it's shaming. And I know she didn't say she was one, or she probably doesn't consider herself one now. But it's the shaming of sex workers. Like, this has the whole distinction, like the way people would shame sex workers because they're doing something that most people would find abhorrent. And I'm sorry, like, I can't shame her for that shit. But let's continue.
And I don't want to lose that. And I know people like to see me be down and be like them and be like the 90%ers, the people that work 9 to 5. That is not me. I am in LA to not be like that.
Wow, nope.
And you know what? Before he starts, this is a problem. I'm not gonna doubt that this is a fucking problem. The fact that she uses her status to come down on somebody else, yeah, that's why she got so much hate. Now, I'm not saying she has to come humble hat in hand to say that please don't hate me. No, the problem is not everybody is cut out for a 9 to 5 job. I know. What? And spoiler alert, some people have skills in one place and other people have skills in another. And I know, shocking. Some people aren't cut out to fit in a cookie cutter mold that capitalism say that you should actually fit into because reasons. And you know what? I'm okay with people not fitting into that mold because in the end it's all what somebody tells us to do, tells us how to be. And if you're going to be that shitty person that makes fun of people who can't survive in the mode that they tell us all to survive in, you got to look at why you're being that person. I've come to a realization out of my 37 years of being on this earth. I can't bemoan someone for being lazy. I can't. I really can't. I can say that there are skills that a lot of people have not actually come to actualize. There are things, there are jobs, there are certain levels of certain ways of income that people just haven't been able to actualize. Who would have known 10 years ago that making videos online would actually give you some sort of monochrome of income? You didn't. There are certain things that certain people's probably would have had a better life if we lived in a rural culture. Some people didn't excel from that. Some people, well, we live in a culture where you have to fit the mold. And quite frankly, sometimes that leaves people behind. And now we have a way of those people that used to be left behind, where they didn't have to be married off to be someone, to depend on someone's income that may have been abusive, or they don't have to live in a world where they have to do things that may hurt them in the long run. They can make a living off of other shit. But let's continue.
No wonder people don't like you. I don't want to work a 9 to 5 job. I'm too good for that. I'm in LA. I can't do a 9 to 5 job like a normal person and work an 8-hour shift. You know what? I'm just going to keep posting scantily clad photos and stupid little music videos.
Okay, so this is where I get that this is also has a tinge of jealousy, because it's not like, I get it. She invited some of this criticism because of the situation that she's in, but you kind of have to understand you're not being wholly, you're not giving a what's the best way to say it? And I hate using this term. You're not being a truly good guy when you bring up that she's scantily clothed. That's shaming, quote unquote. She probably doesn't consider herself this way, but that's shaming sex workers and That shit is retard. That shit is. That shit is disingenuous. That shit is kind of culturally retrograde. But let's continue.
And I'm a back down these two little mad no shit in the bag. I would get to bag money in the door, bitch. I'm me when I
Okay, yeah, video sexually explicit. So what? Are you mad?
Yeah, because posing like this and showing like, you know, your cleavage and you're like,
Dude, like, stop. I'll skip ahead.
who would have thought that that's a hard job to, you know, work? That you're somehow better than other people who work a 9-to-5 job?
Worked so hard to get to where I'm at, and for that to get taken from me is the worst feeling in the world. It literally sucks having people want to come after you for no reason, and it hurts. And I don't think people understand that, like, this is my fucking life.
Yeah, well, your life is stupid.
Alright, so, yeah, this is the shit this kind of gets me. It's kind of irritating about this whole situation because, in the end, you know what she fucking means, dog. And for you to actually sit back and actually take it as you're taking it where it doesn't need to go, all because you're pissed off at her presentation of basically her being an asshole. You should actually take it as, and you know what? I'm sorry. I'm prescribing with how you should take it, but you should really see it as somebody has to do certain things in order to make themselves, in order to make a fucking living. Like, I can't quite get how people can miss that. Hey, some people are fucking hurting economically. But let's continue.
And your priorities are completely out of whack. That's the reality. That's the truth. You know, consider this a wake-up call for you that, you know what? What you're trying to choose as a career isn't working because you make bad content. You don't have anything special to show off. You're not unique. You're not special. You're just one of those traditional LA thoughts who want to be Instagram famous. And that's what your desire in life is to be, and that's what you want. By all means, achieve it. But you're going to have one miserable life.
It's nothing wrong with being a sex worker. That's if she's selling sex, either figuratively or literally, it's nothing wrong with it. And I kind of think you guys don't understand how that works. It's, you guys have this thing where it's just like, because reasons, you know, any woman who sells the perception of sex, she's a, like, thought, like, that's such a fucking problem. Because what you fail to realize is that she's a fucking person. Like, I just keep going back to this, and I'm not making an excuse for her quote unquote poor decisions. I'm not making an excuse for her clear amount of entitlement from the I'm a 1%er. That's a level of entitlement that is just shitty. But make no mistake, we're all being screwed over. But let's continue.
Let me tell you, chasing numbers your whole life? What type of life is that? Honestly, realistically.
I am nothing. I was the prostitute, for God's sake. I was a prostitute. I stripped every single day. I don't even do that anymore because I make all of my money online.
You don't have to go back to that life. Why would you think you have to? It's like this black and white line of thinking, I don't get what I want or I have to go do this to myself. No, nobody's telling you you have to go back to that life. If you actually take the time and the effort to build life skills for yourself, you wouldn't have to do that. But you want easy routes out. You are a self-entitled, number-hungry little brat.
All right, so, and this is what I'm gonna leave it here because I'm pretty much probably gonna just go and play some Smite, and I have to get myself ready for work tomorrow. But she's stepping away from prostitution. You should applaud somebody that's trying to do that, that's better in their life. You take the title of you now take the issue of somebody being entitled and you just stepping it on their head. Is where it's like, just get life skills. And I don't know, but it's, people really a lot of times don't want to sell themselves in order to, like, they don't want to actually sell themselves and actually want to sit back and, if they can find something where they can not have to sell themselves physically, they will do it in a fucking heartbeat. Because if it means them making a way out of poverty. But I'm speaking into a void. And at this point, guys, it's about time for me to go. I want to thank everybody who's watched. Thank everybody who's enjoyed. And you guys enjoy the rest of your night. Peace.